Hey, Mom, are you ready for chapter 5?
I am ready.
Let's do this.
Let's go.
Okay, so chapter 5, Mom, this is your second chapter, which actually was your first chapter.
Right.
And then we introduced you earlier, and I asked you at the last second to write another chapter. So,
Right. Right.
can you share more about that gut punch moment you experienced when you first learned about my diagnosis, and how did it change your approach as a parent?
Well, it was very learning for me because, yes, in the chapter, I talk about what an avid reader I am. I've always been a reader, other than when you girls were littler and I just didn't have time. But even as a young child, I loved being at the library and loved looking for adventures and different books I could read. And I made great friends with the librarian. So I'd be up there every other day for sure. So for me to find out that my daughter would never read well or may never like reading was my gut punch. It was disappointing for me because I felt like you were going to be losing or missing out on so much. And that was really hard for me. I mean, I've gone through adventures after adventure, and I thought she'll never get that. I awfulized it. I went down that rabbit hole, and it was very hard. And I thought, what is her life going to be like if she doesn't have this? Now, of course, I look back and I see, well, she does have it, just in a different way. It doesn't have to be the way I read. But at the time, I didn't know that. There wasn't books on tape were not a big thing then, and those kinds of things just didn't exist. Or the audio books you can get online. So it just was a real learning point for me in that it kind of brought me to the epiphany that what difference does it make if she doesn't read a book, but if she listens to a book? So I kind of turned that into, well, what difference does it make if she doesn't learn this way? She still learns. It doesn't matter. She's still learning. That's the point of learning. You find out what way works best for you. So it kind of opened that up for me to be more accepting and not so worried about, oh yeah, she's never going to have this fun. Of course she's going to do these things but just in a different way, and that's perfectly okay.
Yeah. No, that's really good. Did it change anything like for your approach as a parent, like back then when that moment that you finally did kind of make that transition into like, oh, well, you just learn differently or whatever?
Well, I think it was the acceptance of that.
Mm.
I mean, I kind of fought it for a little while well, it just, like I said, I awfulized it and it was going to be this horrible thing. And I think I fought it, but more to be accepting of the fact that, she's going to learn, she's going to read, she's going to drive a car and read signs and all of this stuff that I thought was, the end of the world really wasn't. So I think it just helped me accept the fact that, yes, you have this disability, but this doesn't necessarily mean it's going to make your life awful. It look at how it's brought you wonderful things. And I think it opened my eyes to that. So I think I probably stepped back and accepted it more and was more, well, what can we do to help you then? I focused more on what kind of tools can we put in place? What can she use? I remember we'd have sight words up all over the house. So you could see those words every day and recognize them because you literally had to memorize them. So I think it helped me to just turn the page to go, okay, this is what we're dealing with. What can we put in place to help her become successful as a student and as an adult and whatever we needed to do?
Yep. That is good. You know what? I have come to now realize through all of these episodes we've done that my past tense, present tense, who I'm talking to, problems come from you. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, whatever. I can't, yeah, I have no justification. It is what it is.
I'm just making it clear because I am starting down the road of editing all 28 podcast episodes
Yeah, I
and
know.
editing them. I'm like, Lynn, talk to me. Like,
I know.
and I understand like where you're coming from because you're talking to the people that are listening,
Yes, yeah, I
but
know.
mom, we're interviewing each other. So like
I
it's
know.
kind of funny.
I know.
So for anyone that's just jumping on this episode and you're like, what are you talking about? Go listen to any other episode
Oh yeah,
and you'll see
it'll be
this
there.
wonderful mom of mine that will go from, yeah, Katey, you did this to she. And then I'm like, what are we talking about? Like, bear with
Yeah,
us. It's new to my beautiful mom that
yeah,
we're
yeah,
talking on podcast, we're talking to each other, and the interview
yeah.
thing is a little different too because we're talking about each other, which is kind of hard to do. So,
Yes, yeah, yeah. So there, so there.
yeah, okay. Let's
Okay,
keep going. We'll see
all
if
right.
you can crank this one out in the same tense with
I'll
this next
try. I
question.
will really try hard.
We'll see. Just talk to
Okay,
me when you're
okay,
looking at me. Like
okay.
you're
I'll
talking
keep
to
that in the
me.
back of my mind.
Great, great. We'll see how this goes. Okay.
Uh,
All right, what role did my sister Krista play in helping you recognize my difficulties? So I know we kind of touch base on this in a lot of different episodes, but
yeah.
how can comparing siblings in similar age groups help highlight learning differences?
Yeah, it was that was another kind of hit me between the eyes moment when Krista, your sister, was in first grade and you were in fourth grade, and she was reading better than you were at the time and not having the difficulties that you had and not recognizing words. So that was really the moment that made me go, okay, this is not right. I knew you were smart. I knew you had it there. It's just I didn't recognize that you literally didn't see the words or the letters the same way. And when your sister came along, then she was doing the things that you couldn't yet do when you were 3 years older. So she was kind of the igniter for me to say, yeah, this is not right. I'm not going to continue this anymore. And then went to get you tested. And I don't even remember if I contacted the school about testing because at that point, I didn't know if they did or didn't do it. I just knew that I worked for a healthcare organization and they had a testing site. And I thought, we're just doing it. I don't care how much it costs. We're going through it and doing it. So she just kind of, her coming along and really exceeding you 3 years younger really made me go, yeah, this is not normal. I had no one else to compare you to before that. I wasn't sitting in your classroom to see how the other students were doing. So she was the comparison that helped me, kind of jumpstart what we went through.
Yeah, no, I think and she was exceeding me in reading and
Right.
like that comprehension part
Yeah.
for sure. And so, I mean, that does, you hear people say like, "Oh, don't compare yourself," blah blah blah. Yeah, don't compare yourself to other people. But in
No.
this situation, yes,
Right.
it's very
Yeah.
helpful in when someone's struggling in younger years in learning and reading and whatever else it might be.
Yeah.
That is actually very helpful to have
Yeah.
some kind of indicator of like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, this is like tougher for Katey. Like so
Right.
me being the oldest, and I've had multiple people on the podcast talk about this exact story. They were the oldest,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
their younger sibling came along or whatever,
Yeah.
or they were an only child and never knew. And, in the schools, they noticed it, thank goodness, and stuff like that. So either way, I feel like for you going right to the healthcare system makes sense because you did reach out to these teachers, you did talk to them. And again, not saying anything bad against them. It's just,
No.
are we going to go down the same path? No, you just cut out the middle guy and you went to and got the
Right.
answer.
Right.
So,
Well, and I didn't do it intentionally. I just simply didn't know. I didn't know what I didn't know. I asked the questions and I got their answers, but I didn't know that I could push further. And maybe at the time it wasn't, you weren't able to do that as much, but either way, I didn't know what I didn't know. So it worked out for us. Either way, try to get help one way or another.
yeah. And nowadays, and even back then, you could definitely have asked and pushed.
Yeah.
I would say if anyone's having these issues nowadays with their children, ask, push. We've talked about this many times on other episodes, and don't give up. Now,
Right.
if you're getting pushback and you're like, you know what? I'm just gonna cut out the middle person, then go
Yeah.
get your child tested somewhere else,
Absolutely.
and that's
Absolutely. It's
fine.
worth every penny we ever paid into
Yeah,
it.
it
Absolutely.
100% is. All right, Mom, last question.
Okay.
Mom, you mentioned the importance of teaching children to advocate. Can you advocate for themselves? Let's be clear. Can you
Yes.
share more about how I eventually learned to speak up for myself?
Absolutely. I think part of how you learned to speak up for yourself was watching me advocate for you. That was my job. I was your mom, and I was determined, but needed to know that you were getting what you needed. Now, I wasn't always going to be there with you. I wasn't going to be in the classroom with you. I wasn't going to be at college with you. So I knew you needed to somehow take that role on yourself. And I think we started little. You might have come home from school and said, "Oh, this didn't happen," or whatever. Well, Katey, you need to go speak to that teacher. You have to do that. I can't be there to do it for you. And I think that she just grew from that role. You did. You just grew from that role. But I think when you got the confidence that you weren't stupid, when you realize that, I think you kind of blossomed as well.
Hmm.
Because you really didn't struggle with advocating. I mean, if we said, "Now, Katey, you're going to have to go talk to your teacher, let's practice it," or "This is how you need to do it," you did it. So I think that confidence was a huge builder that, I'm not stupid and I need this help. So I think it was a lot
Yeah.
of practice. But yeah, I wasn't always going to be there for you. So I knew you needed to make sure that you got what you needed.
Well, and I think a big part of that too is yes, I watched you to an extent, and we talk about that in the book. And when you share the part just right now, when you were just talking about me feeling stupid, I want to make it clear for everyone listening. That's something I said. I always felt dumb, stupid, and alone before I was diagnosed. But also, I feel like including me in these meetings, like making me learn, not making me, but teaching me about my differences and what makes me me and why I learned a little differently really helped me own who I am as well at a young
Right.
age. You didn't keep any secrets from me. You
No,
didn't pretend like, oh, you're just like everyone else. No, you're like, no, you
no.
you actually learn differently, and that's totally fine. And you're not
Yeah.
gonna like sugarcoat it and pretend and whatever. So I feel like that all encompasses that as well. Of
Right. Right.
I just feel like kids and people learning about themselves, whenever you do, will start to build confidence in you to be
Right.
able to stand up for yourself. It
Yeah.
is that simple. Learn more about yourself. I'm still learning about myself and I love
Of
it.
course.
I love
We
learning
all
about
are. We
we
all
just learned
are.
about my mom and how she says goes into the different tenses
That's a problem with tense.
and talks to me directly and then talks about me to me directly in a weird way. It's fine. We just learn things every day. And editing the podcast, I've learned that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Lynn, what are you
Sorry.
freaking doing? But it's fine.
Now,
It's
if I had to edit it, I would pick up on it and I would try to change. But you see, you're doing it, so I don't
I
know. I didn't know it was a
just
problem.
told you.
Yeah, but
Anywho,
that's different. I want to do it myself.
yeah, okay, you can edit these if you want. It takes a long time. So if you want to go and learn how to edit
No, that's
podcast
okay.
episodes and YouTube episodes, go right ahead, Mom.
Yeah,
I would
no,
love
that's
it.
okay.
Oh, great. Okay. Well, Mom, thanks for being here for chapter 5.
Yeah,
Let's go jump into chapter 6. I can't wait to talk more about it. And also, I dove right into this. If you like this, this is just a short little episode on YouTube here, but we actually have a whole other realm of questions that we answer on the podcast, the Different Ability podcast, and I'll have the links below. So go check those out as well. And don't forget to go buy the book. That's the other thing.
that's right.
And read because or listen to, but we are just diving into extra little questions. And again, squirrel content, like squirrel, we go off on a tangent. It happens. It's
Yeah,
fine. So go
like
check it out.
Gager pointing his or getting his little nose in the picture, you
Oh
know.
yeah, he moved my arm. I don't know if you noticed in this
Oh,
episode, but
no, I
he
didn't
came and
see
like moved my
that.
arm and needed me to pet him for
Oh,
3
yeah. Well,
seconds.
of course,
And
of
then
course.
as he was walking out, thank goodness
See, Katey, he was advocating for
yeah,
himself.
it's
He
cute.
needs the pet.
No, he is being a freaking pain in the butt. He was just outside and he wants to go run and play with birds or chase them. But also, I had it on mute, thank goodness, because
Oh,
as he was walking out, he goes, and
the big heavy sigh.
I'm
Yeah.
like, you freeloading shyster, go lay on your free bed
Yeah.
and we'll talk after. So,
Yeah. Oh, Lord.
oh my goodness. Well, Mom, let's
Hi,
go dive
Grandpuppy.
in. I know, right? Let's go dive into chapter 6. Thank
Chapter
you.
6 will be there.
Mom, you're the one asking the questions.
No, chapter 5 is my chapter, so you're asking me the
You
questions.
know,
Would that be right?
we probably it's such a long day and it's only 8 o'clock in the morning. Oh
Oh,
no.
dear.
If this is what the day is gonna bring, we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Long day.
Woo! There's some bloopers for everyone.